The Rangers may have won last night, but what they lost was so much more important.
You are Locked On Rangers, your daily Texas Rangers podcast, part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day.
You are locked onto the Texas Rangers, the first and best daily Rangers podcast. I'm Bryce Patrick, a cripplingly addicted Texas Rangers fan, covering this team for 12 seasons, including all 7 as the founder and host of this podcast. Thank you all so much for making Locked On Rangers your first listen every single day. If not already, you can follow me on Twitter at Bryce Patrick. You can follow the show at Locked On Rangers. Hit subscribe on your favorite podcasting platform and on YouTube, where the best way you can help grow the show is to comment nearly any single thing below. Now, on today's show, we're talking about the Rangers losing Nathan Eovaldi probably for the season, the Rangers winning last night, and just what their hopes are without the best pitcher in baseball on their staff moving forward. Before we get into all that, today's episode is brought to you by Gametime. Download the Gametime app, create an account, and use code LOCKEDONMLB for $20 off your first purchase. Now, the Rangers ended up winning last night in a game that they absolutely should have won. 7-3 was not as close as the final score indicated. Great game from Patrick Corbin. We'll talk about that later. Great game from the offense. Great day for Michael Hellman, both offensively and defensively. But the news broke before the Rangers game on Tuesday night that Nathan Eovaldi, their ace, the best pitcher in all of baseball this year, he is almost certainly done for the year with a right rotator cuff strain. This happened at the end of his start on Friday, which unfortunately will probably be his last start of the season. Was dealing with a little bit of shoulder soreness, played toss on Sunday, and it didn't feel that much better. He thought, okay, this is just kind of typical normal end of season shoulder soreness. I mean, he's pitched 130 innings so far this year. It's like, okay, I'm 35 years old. This just kind of happens around this time of year. Then he threw a bullpen and it still started getting worse. So they did an MRI, and unfortunately, he has a right rotator cuff strain, which is the same injury that has sidelined Tyler Mahle for now more than 2 full months, 2.5 months. At this point, it's not as severe as the shoulder strain that has kept Tyler Mahle on the shelf for now more than 60 days, but it is going to be not too severe that he has to have surgery to repair it. So Chris Young said, hey, if we do go on a deep postseason run, there is a possibility that he comes back at some point during that run. But saying it with a straight face, while at that point, before the game, the Rangers were under 500, having just lost and got shut out and embarrassed by a mediocre, bad Angels team, it's hard to say that there's much hope for Eovaldi to pitch again this season, because, again, that would require the Rangers, first off, making the postseason, which who knows how likely that is at this point with such a mediocre American League. I mean, aggressively mediocre American League, and the Rangers are very much included in that aggressively mediocre American League. But parts of them have been incredible. The main part is this starting rotation, and Nathan Eovaldi at the head of it finishes the year with a 1.73 ERA, 22 starts, 130 innings, including a complete game, 129 strikeouts, 4.3 baseball reference WAR. This is one of the best pitching seasons I have ever seen. Period. Flat out. Not pretty good season for Texas Rangers standards. Not, oh, Nathan Eovaldi's best season. Oh, no, nice, cute little story. No, this has been flat out dominance all season long. He has stepped it up in a huge, huge way, finding some new trick with his curveball that has made it an incredibly effective pitch, now being a complete 4-pitch pitcher, which for some reason StatCast is having him as throwing a sinker, which I don't think I've seen at all this year. He didn't throw it at all in his most recent start. Last start, he hasn't thrown a sinker in forever. I don't remember the last time that he threw a sinker. I think it was maybe forever ago, because he threw a couple of sinkers in 2023, but I think that might just be a StatCast glitch, because this guy, cutter, fastball, splitter, curveball, any count, anywhere, any hitter, no matter who, no matter how many times they've seen it, you do not know what Nathan Eovaldi is going to throw next. And every pitch that he is going to throw is going to be a high quality pitch. Sometimes he might favor the splitter on a given day. Sometimes it's a curveball day. Some days it's a cutter day. Some days it's a four-seam fastball day. And no matter what kind of a day it is this year, it has been a good day for Nathan freaking Eovaldi. I mean, a 1.73 ERA on a full season, 22 starts, 130 innings. That's basically 2/3 of what I would like him to be able to throw in a given season. But this is by far the best year of his career. The lowest ERA he had in a full season was a 3.63 ERA. He did that actually his first year in 2011 with the Dodgers, and exactly a 3.63 ERA with the Rangers. Excuse me, 2013 he had a 3.39 ERA, but that was in the National League when there were no DHs. So is that really the same? Not particularly, but this was just such a dominant season from start to finish. And it's not just the dominance of his overall numbers, it's the dominance of the Rangers when he started. I mean, this is big game Nate. When the Rangers needed some big performance, time and time and time again, the last 3 years, he has stepped up in such a huge way. Not to mention the entirety of that postseason run in 2023. Had they not had Nathan Eovaldi, I don't know if the Rangers, maybe they make it out of the wild card round, but there's no way they win the World Series without Nathan Eovaldi's contributions in the postseason in 2023 and his contributions in the regular season in 2023. The day they found out Jacob deGrom went on the IL, he stepped up with a hugely dominant game against the Yankees, where the Rangers bullpen was just dead and depleted and horrific at its worst in Pittsburgh. He throws a complete game because the Rangers needed all 9 innings. This year, time and time again, when the Rangers have just desperately needed a win. I mean, even his last couple of starts, you look at those against Toronto, when the Rangers were just dead beaten, awful. He was incredible. Gave the Rangers 1 win in that series, and then in his most recent win, what might be his final win of the season, he goes 7 innings, 1 run, and strikes out 9 in a dominant performance against the Cleveland Guardians. This guy has been such a leader, such a momentum builder for the Texas Rangers in all of his starts, and losing him for the season is just a devastating blow. Not to mention who they're going to replace him with, who won't be not only anywhere in the same universe as Nathan Eovaldi in terms of the production on the field, but just finding another arm to fill those innings, to fill those starts, and not to mention what Jack Leiter has learned from going immediately after Nathan Eovaldi in the rotation. I mean, his starts with him on the mound right after a Nathan Eovaldi start, he has a sub-2 ERA in those starts. He is a visual learner. He is seeing what Nathan Eovaldi is doing to the opposing team. He has a similar profile to him, has a little bit more of a slider than Nathan Eovaldi uses, doesn't have a cutter, and that changeup works similarly to the kick changeup works similarly to Nathan Eovaldi's splitter. It's not quite the same, and Nathan Eovaldi doesn't have a sinker, despite what Statcast is saying, where Jack Leiter does. But he has learned so much from him. He is still learning so much from him, and it is going to be tough to not follow him every 5th day in the rotation. Maybe Jack Leiter, this is the start of him stepping up, because this rotation needs to step up. With Jacob deGrom there as the only ace left in this rotation, they're going to need some guys to step up, and they had one step up in a big, big way in Patrick Corbin last night. The best start of his season. Could this be a start of a resurgence for Patrick Corbin, looking more like first half Patrick Corbin than last half Patrick Corbin? Talk about that and more right after this. This show is brought to you by Gametime. There's nothing like catching a baseball game live. The energy, the crowd, the chance to see your team in person, but actually getting tickets, that's the tough part. Queues, login screens, surprise feeds, it takes all the fun out of it. That's why I use Gametime, the app that gives advantage back to the fans. Gametime is fast, easy, and backed by the Gametime guarantee. You'll always get 100% authentic tickets delivered on time and at the best price. Plus, all the fees are included, so the price you see is the price you pay. fees are included. You know your total upfront, no surprise fees at checkout. Thinking, oh, this ticket's gonna be $20. What? It's actually $40. No, Gametime lets you know exactly what it's going to cost every single time. You can see what your seat views look like in the app before you buy. So go use Gametime. Download the Gametime app, create an account, and use code LOCKEDONMLB for $20 off your first purchase. Terms apply. Again, create an account or redeem promo code LOCKEDONMLB for $20 off. Swipe, tap, ticket, go. Download Gametime today. The show is also brought to you by FanDuel. The NFL season is almost here, and FanDuel is making sure you're ready for kickoff with a can't-miss offer. Right now, new customers can bet $5, and if your bet wins, you'll get $300 in bonus bets to use across the app. It is so fun, so easy to get in on the action with FanDuel. They've got all kinds of different odds on all things NFL. Let's just look at some of the first things that they have. Super Bowl odds, Baltimore Ravens favored to win this year, plus 700. Chiefs down there at plus 800. Eagles at plus 750. And wow, the Green Bay Packers at plus 1700 in the top 6 in terms of their Super Bowl odds. Not exactly what I was expecting. So if you're ready to play, download the FanDuel app now by visiting FanDuel.com to get started. That's FanDuel.com to place your first $5 bet. Shout out to the Everydayers making Locked On Rangers your first listen every single day. On tomorrow's show, we'll be back and be talking about this series finale, maybe a series win for the Texas Rangers in a game that the Rangers most desperately need. This is going to be a tough stretch down the final 5 weeks of the season. But if the Rangers are getting performances like this from Patrick Corbin, they are in a good spot. One last thing on Nathan Eovaldi before we move on to Patrick Corbin. He is going to get another MRI in 4 weeks. And if that shows everything is all clear on that, then he'll start building up. But again, we're 5 weeks and we're 5 weeks away from the end of the regular season. So in 4 weeks, if he gets the all clear to start throwing and everything again, then well, he's got a week to build up before that postseason starts, if the Rangers even get there. But Nathan Eovaldi has stepped up in a big way when Rangers starters have gone down, and Patrick Corbin did the exact same thing last night. 8 shutout innings, just 1 walk, 8 strikeouts, only 3 hits. This was a gem from Patrick Corbin at such a desperately needed time. I mean, the Rangers just so badly needed some little bit of hope in yesterday's game. Just a little bit. I mean, this team is probably dead. They got back to 500. They have not been above 500 in a hot minute. I don't know if they'll ever get back there. We'll see. There's still time for them to do that. I mean, they're not completely out of it. But this was the best start I've ever seen from Patrick Corbin. I mean, truly an exceptional start. And it didn't start out that way. I mean, Zach Neto leading off the game with a double, where on Monday's game, he led off on the first pitch with a leadoff homer off of Jacob Grom. You thought, oh boy, here we go again. But some great defensive plays from Josh Young really saved the Rangers from giving up a run in that first inning. And then after that, Patrick Corbin settled in. I mean, not a whole lot of base runners in this one, just a base runner every other inning, a strikeout per inning. He really got stronger as this game went on because the Rangers were able to tack on and give him a lead. And even with this strong start, I mean, as of late, it had been some really tough starts for Patrick Corbin. I mean, the first half of the season, he looked really good. Honestly, really good. A sub-4 ERA in the first 2 months of the season. June was a little bit tough, but then July, he bounced back and he had a 2.3 ERA in 5 starts. He was exceptional in the month of July. But then August came around, and boy howdy, had it been rough. Even with these 8 shutout innings that he tallied in August, his ERA in the month is 7.17. I mean, only 3 innings of 3-run ball against the Yankees, against the Phillies. He got, knocked around for 3 runs and 4 1/3 innings in Toronto. That was abysmal. In Kansas City, that was not a good start. But seeing him bounce back like this on just such an incredibly tough day for the Texas Rangers franchise. I mean, Nathan Eovaldi, not just with how well he was doing this year, but he could have been the franchise's first ever Cy Young winner. That 1.73 ERA, that is among the top 5 best. Had he been qualified, would have been one of the 5 best ERAs since the designated hitter was implemented in the 1970s. That is the level of dominance Nathan Eovaldi has been, and that is the level of dominance the Rangers are losing in their rotation. But Patrick Corbin stepping up, I mean, again, this guy has just been such found money this year. I mean, truly, the Rangers had nothing left at the start of this season with their rotation. I mean, so many injuries, the John Gray injury, the Cody Bradford injury. I mean, you're relying on, at that point, Jacob deGrom, Nathan Eovaldi, Tyler Mahle, and a prayer. I mean, truly, it was rough stuff. I mean, Jack Leiter and Kumar Rocker were in the rotation to start the season. Both of them had some injuries. Kumar Rocker, by the way, is not an option to join this rotation and fill in the spot where Nathan Eovaldi has left. But Patrick Corbin has just been there all year long. 25 starts, a 4.3 ERA, an ERA plus of 85, just 15% worse than the average, but he's there. 131 innings. He has now thrown more innings this year than Nathan Eovaldi, which is both a kudos to Patrick Corbin and also a total bummer that Nathan Eovaldi is not going to be making any more starts. But this level of dominance, I don't know if it's repeatable, and I don't think he's going to see the Oakland, no longer Oakland A's this weekend, which I think is a very, very good thing for him, because those A's, boy, howdy, can they hit some homers. But just getting a win and a performance like this in a moment like this, I mean, it is Nathan Eovaldi-esque. It is not the same. He is not. I'm not saying that Patrick Corbin is just going to turn into left-handed Nathan Eovaldi down the stretch. That would be insane. That'd be nice. That'd be really, really nice. I'm not against it if Patrick Corbin wants to just have a 1.73 ERA from now until the end of the season. I would be absolutely down for that. I just don't think that is a realistic expectation to set on Patrick Corbin, but also to just appreciate what this was. And the Rangers giving him a 7-run lead, which was not almost blown, but just not a good day for Danny Coulomb. Comes in, faces 3 batters, and gives up 2 homers and 3 runs. Not an ideal way to finish out this game, where Corbin maybe could have gone for the complete game shutout, 102 pitches. I mean, he was just absolutely rolling at that point, but I get wanting to just throw one guy and hopefully get him to bounce back a little bit. Not a great day for Coulomb, but Phil Maton coming in and shutting the door down, and what was then a 4-run deficit when he got there, which started as a 7-run or a 4-run lead as opposed to a 7-run lead that the Rangers had going into that one. But that's because this offense really gave it to Yusei Kikuchi. 6 runs given up by Kikuchi in 4 innings, including a couple of homers. The Rangers didn't have a whole lot of hits in this one, but they took advantage with the hits that they got. They were 2 for 4 with runners in scoring position, only 3 runners left on base, just 7 hits, 4 walks, and 7 runs, because the Rangers were able to pile it on with the home run ball. Michael Hellman, his second home run as a big leaguer, a massive 2-run shot that gave the Rangers just a little bit more cushion after dropping a 3 spot in the bottom of the first inning, getting out of that jam in the first inning with a leadoff double, and then dropping 3 runs in the bottom of the first and 2 runs in the bottom of the second inning. I'm surprised that Kikuchi made it all the way through 4 innings, because they got nearly 40 pitches on him in that first inning. A great job of this offense of just working counts, working pitches, getting on base, having tough at-bats, and even if you get an out, just making Kikuchi work to get all the outs that he got. I mean, and the pitch that Michael Hellman hit a homer on, it was a 2-strike pitch, a fastball, on the outer part of the plate, but 1.5 inches above the zone, maybe 2-3 full inches above the zone, that he takes a pitch away and he pulls it 100+ miles an hour for a line drive homer, a 2-run shot to get the Rangers a 5-0 win. They pile on with a couple more solo shots later on in this game. Kyle Higashioka gets his 9th of the season in the 4th inning, the final run off of Yusei Kikuchi. And then Corey Seager blasts his 20th home run of the season. He is the first Ranger to 20 home runs. A great day for Adolis Garcia, getting an RBI double early on in this game, getting the Rangers on the board. A good bit of hitting by Cody Freeman, who was in this game playing second base and got a sac fly to drive in a run, just doing the necessary things. Josh Young getting a run, hit with a runner in scoring position, driving in a run early on in this game. Just a good bit of team at-bats, team-centered plate appearances that you absolutely love to see from an offense that hadn't done a whole lot of that early on in this season. But they are going to absolutely need to do that because this pitching staff is not going to be as good moving forward. What are they going to do to replace Nathan Eovaldi in this rotation? Are there some external options they could kick the tires on? Yes, but I think there's one very obvious internal candidate that they should consider and absolutely give this spot in the rotation to moving forward. Talk about that and more right after this. This show is brought to you by Upside. Hey, Locked On Rangers fans, are you still paying full price for gas? Stop leaving money behind. Get real cash back every time you fill up for the free Upside app. Simply download the free Upside app in the App Store or Google Play right now and start earning cash at the pump today. Use my limited time promo code SEASON and get an extra 25 cents back per gallon on your first fill up. You could make up to $300 a year just for buying gas that you already needed. At first, I thought this was too good to be true, but it's totally legit. Real people are getting paid just to make their daily commutes, and you can too. Plus, you can cash out anytime to your bank account, PayPal, or an e-gift card for Amazon and other brands. Don't let this offer drive on by. Download the free Upside app now using my limited time promo code SEASON for a limited time 25-cent per gallon bonus. That's promo code SEASON. Offers vary by user and location. Go to upside.com for terms and conditions. Shout out to the everydayers making Locked On Rangers your first listen every single day. After every single game, Jeff Biggs is with you with a Locked On Rangers postcast, reacting live to every single game in your Locked On Rangers podcast feeds on YouTube and wherever you get your podcasts. Now, with Nathan Eovaldi done for the season, the Rangers need another spot in their rotation. You've got Jacob deGrom in there. You've got Jack Leiter in there, who is absolutely cruising at the moment. Merrill Kelly has seemed to turn it around a little bit. Patrick Corbin is stabilizing. And you just need one more. Kumar Rocker hasn't pitched since early in August. He is dealing with, I think the real reason is an innings limit. The Rangers are saying he is reworking something in his delivery, which maybe he is. He has pitched a little bit this year in the minor leagues. He's pitched 13 2/3 innings in 3 starts in the PCL with Round Rock. He had 1 rehab start in Frisco where he went 3 innings, 64 innings at the big leagues this year, and 16 2/3 innings in the minor leagues this year. That is 81 innings so far on the season for Kumar Rocker. I think that's lower than I expected the full season total to be this year. But again, they're trying to be extra cautious with him because he is still coming back from Tommy John surgery to repair that UCL. So, I mean, last year in 2024, he made 3 starts in the big leagues, 11 2/3 innings. He had 36 2/3 innings in the minor leagues while he was, recovering from Tommy John surgery and also just pitching regularly in the minor leagues where he was just absolutely dominant. I forget how dominant he was in Frisco with a .46 ERA in 5 starts in 19 2/3 innings in 2024. But there are definitely some innings limits on Kumar Rocker that he is pushing up against this season. He has had some moments of brilliance. He's had some moments of the opposite of brilliance this year, but he is not going to be an option. There are some external candidates. Andrew Heaney just got released by the Pittsburgh Pirates, and at first glance, it looked like maybe they were releasing him to keep him from getting some bonus performance incentives. But then I looked into some of his most recent outings, and they have been really rough for the better part of 6 weeks for old friend Andrew Heaney. Maybe the Rangers go and sign him as just a free agent on a major league minimum deal from now until the end of this season. I don't think that would get them too much closer to the luxury tax. I don't know where they are in terms of luxury tax after just cutting bait and putting John Gray on waivers. I think that might have gotten them under the luxury tax, but I think right now the obvious choice, the choice that the Rangers should go with is Jacob Latch. The guy has been so darn good as a starter this year in 3 games as a primary starter. He has a 3.14 ERA, 14 1/3 innings, 14 strikeouts, 7 walks, just 5 earned runs on the season. And that's not even including the start where he was a primary in a bullpen game where he had, I believe, somewhere around 8 or 9 strikeouts in 3 1/3 innings in that game against the Washington Nationals. I mean, this guy has been just so much better than I expected. I didn't expect much of anything this year, if I'm being completely honest. I mean, he had a 3.7 ERA last year in 43 and 2/3 innings. He didn't start any games. He was not in the mix to start games, but this has been a guy whose stuff has always been really darn good. It has just been the consistency for him. And I think this is a chance to give him a little bit of a test run from now until the end of the season, because if the Rangers don't sign any free agent starting pitchers heading into next year, Lance is in line to be kind of the number 5 starter. I think that is a likely thing that will happen, even if the Rangers do sign somebody. I mean, maybe he even jumps Rocker in the rotation. I mean, right now his season numbers have been better than what Rocker has done. Again, Rocker has done it more frequently, and he has had more blow up and bad outings than Jacob Latz has had. But still, I think Latz has earned the right to fight for that spot in the rotation, earn the right to at least have it from now, give him at least a couple starts and see how it goes. Because you look at the rotation in Round Rock, you look at the other options. I mean, you're going to give Caleb Bosley a whole bunch of starts. Maybe I think he wouldn't be horrible, but Jacob Latz is a clearly significantly better option right now. And there's nobody in AAA that is knocking on the door by any means. I mean, maybe if the Rangers didn't make a trade for Merrill Kelly, then we could have seen Cole Drake in this spot, because he's been in AAA. He had been in AAA with Rangers before the Rangers traded him away. Maybe Mitch Bratt, who had 7 shutout innings in his most recent start for the Amarillo Sod Poodles. Good for him. Good for Mitch Bratt thriving out there in the desert of Amarillo. But that's kind of the Rangers' best option right now is Jacob Latz. There's not a whole lot of good options, but Jacob Latz is a good option right now. And I think he should be the option right now. A couple things on the farm that I wanted to mention before we talk about the broader picture of where the Rangers stand after last night's game. Sebastian Walcott is just such an incredibly electric player. It has been a tough week, at a tough month plus, really, month and a half or so at the plate for Sebastian Walcott in August and late July. But on the base paths and, on the field defensively, this kid is a star. I forget about how fast he is because he is so massive, because he has such a massive arm, because, a lot of the athleticism you think about with Sebastian Walcott of being the tallest teenager I have ever seen, maybe the tallest teenager I ever will see at 6'5", or just the biggest. I mean, he hits the absolute crap out of the baseball. He's got such a massive cannon of an arm. But you forget, this kid is incredibly fast as well. He stole home last night as the winning run to give the Frisco Rough Riders a win in the 8th inning with 2 outs. A tough way for the opposing team to lose, but it was not even a straight steal of home. I mean, the pitcher threw the pitch to home plate. The catcher saw him a little bit off of third base, so he tried to back pick him at third base, but the third baseman was not on the bag. He was not on the bag, and he had a little bit of trouble with the throw. He was not expecting it. Sebastian Walcott sees where the third baseman is and breaks for home plate, knowing that it's going to be a tough play. It would take a perfect throw by the third baseman to get him out. Just incredible baseball instincts. I mean, those are baseball rat-like instincts from a guy with all the talent in the world. That is a combination you absolutely love to see, of a guy with just supreme physical gifts and that, kind of scrappy Ian Kinsler baseball rat, Cody Freeman like mentality of trying to get every single nugget out of their baseball talent. When you see guys who don't have as many physical gifts as guys like Walcott doing it, you're like, all right, that's a guy who's going to fight his way into, holding down a roster spot for several years and try and eke out a 10-year big league career. And when guys like Sebastian Walcott have those kind of instincts and that kind of hustle and grit, and even when they're going through it, having a tough time at the plate, not letting that, seep in and affect other parts of his game, that shows a strong mental aptitude. And something that I really, really love about Sebastian Walcott is when he's struggling, he doesn't let it, get to other parts of his game. Sometimes hitters, when they're going through a slump, they can take those struggles into the field and start making a whole lot of errors, or start making, dumb plays on the base paths, or just dumb mental errors in general that affect other parts of their game. Sebastian Walcott, so far as I've seen, has not done that. And a play like that, just a small little nugget of saying, oh, this kid is supremely talented and he absolutely loves baseball. That is a great great combination. A kid who I think might have a little bit of that in him as well is Josh Owens, the Rangers' third-round pick this year, a two-way player out of high school in Tennessee. He made his professional debut yesterday after me saying pretty much since the Rangers drafted him, I don't think we'll see Josh Owens this year. I thought, oh no, this is past time when we would see Josh Owens. I also didn't think we'd see Gavin Feen. He made his debut with Hickory Crawdads on Saturday. Josh Owens made his hitting debut last night with Hickory Crawdads as the DH. He went 0 for 4 with a pair of strikeouts, and he will pitch. The starting pitcher for the Hickory Crawdads on Friday will be Josh Owens, the two-way player. Now, he has played a little bit of, I believe, the outfield. I believe he is also listed as potentially a shortstop. He'll probably pick one of those. I'm not sure if he'll stick in the outfield or at shortstop, or he'll end up being a pitcher. He is regarded much more highly as a hitting prospect than he is as a pitching prospect, but the Rangers are giving him a go. Having two different two-way players in their system right now, I think that is incredibly fascinating. Not a great first game for Josh Owens, but again, hey, it's one game. That's the best part of baseball, is you'll be able to get back out there and see what he can do tonight, what he can do on Friday in his pitching debut. I am fascinated to see what that looks like, if the control is as bad as some of the reports indicate, and even if it is, just what the raw stuff looks like, because two-way players are fascinating to me, and if you can home grow one or maybe even two, feels a little bit greedy to ask for both these guys in Josh Owens and Kim to both be big leaguers as two-way players. I am still fascinated to see what their development looks like. But after last night's game, the Rangers are that much closer in both the wild card and in the AL West standings. The Rangers do not have the tiebreaker with the Seattle Mariners, nor do they have this tiebreaker with the Kansas City Royals, both of whom are ahead of them in the standings. The Mariners holding that final wild card spot. They also don't have the tiebreaker against the Yankees, who hold the second wild card spot. The Royals, who are just ahead of them, a game and a half ahead of them. Rangers are now 4.5 games out of that final wild card spot. And after the Houston Astros lost again to the Colorado Rockies with their ace Hunter Brown on the mound and got beat pretty badly. They are now 4-6 in their last 10 games. The Rangers are just 6 games out of the AL West title right now. They are 6 games out of that AL West, not that much further out than they are of the wild card spot. And I honestly think that their best chance to make a postseason, push is for that AL West title. And you got to hope that the Mariners stay below the Astros. The Rangers can jump those Mariners, and that it comes down to a tiebreaker between the Rangers and the Astros, because the Rangers at this point do have the tiebreaker against the Houston Astros. There are still 6 games left against Houston where the Rangers could lock up that tiebreaker and could end up, if they had the same record in all the games outside of now and the end of this season, outside of the games that the Rangers have against Houston, they win all 6 games, that would be enough to get them into first place, or at least tied with the Houston Astros in the standings. This is by no means done. I still feel like it's very much done. I still feel like, especially after the Nathan Eovaldi injury, I mean, just the injury luck the Rangers have had in the last week alone, losing Evan Carter for the season, losing Marcus Semien, probably for the season, losing Nathan Eovaldi for the season. Heck, even losing Jake Berger for another 10 days. He's going to be eligible to return from the IL on Thursday. So his first game back, if he returns as soon as eligible, will be Friday in Oakland, no longer Oakland, Sacramento, West Sacramento, Yolo County. Still, it has been such a rough go for this Rangers team, but credit to them. They haven't quite crumpled, at least not just yet. And while their hopes for a playoff push may have died with Nathan Eovaldi's shoulder injury, they're still at least going to be interesting in one way or another from now until the end of the season. That's going to do it for today's show. Thank y'all so much for listening and subscribing. And until next time, don't forget to enjoy baseball.